first things first, we wanted to head to Buckingham Palace, and we got a little video of that area around the palace, and I mean, it was swarmed with people, as you can imagine, trying to get pictures of the guards and of the palace and the surrounding area. It took about 2 minutes to find some Packers fans like Molly and Jeff from Phelps, Wisconsin. Take a listen.
This was on my bucket list. I always wanted to see this, and now with the Queen passing, I just really wanted to be here.
They were so nice, you guys, and another couple not planning to go at the game at all. They're just wearing their green and gold because they are proud Packers fans. What was really neat about that area, though, are all the flowers and tributes left for Queen Elizabeth II. We got some video of that as well. There were flowers and handwritten notes and pictures and collages. And, you know, it's been a while now, and all those flowers are being put into bundles. You can smell that they're past their prime, but they're all still there. I'm not sure what the plan is for them, but a lot of people walking around and reading those tributes. It was really moving, and it's just across the street from Buckingham Palace.
So we are here on the south bank of the River Thames, and we're surrounded by everything that's fabulous about London, the old and the new. So right behind me I can see St Paul's Cathedral, which is like nearly 400 years old, and behind me there's the Tate Modern, which is one of the most incredible modern art museums in the world, and behind me is Shakespeare's Globe, which is the original theatre where Shakespeare put on his plays.
Wow, okay, so a modern museum here, and then Shakespeare's theater here, and then we move over to the river. Kind of talk us through, set the scene for us.
So I have to say, if you're coming here on a visit, do take a trip on the river. It's one of the best ways to get your bearings in the city. And what you can see beyond the river is the old city, the Roman city, and beyond that you have the Tower of London and the famous Tower Bridge, which opens and closes, which is one of the iconic spots for London.
And what was that behind me before?
That's St Paul's Cathedral, which played a really important role in the recent mourning of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of images. Now people will get to see it in person. And then the famous bridge here, one of many famous bridges.
That is Millennium Bridge, which was built, funnily enough, for the year 2000. It's a pedestrian bridge, and you can see lots of people walking over it. And one of the lovely things about London is it's such a walkable city. So bring your trainers. Do you call them sneakers? There we are. We're learning the language. We're learning the language. Bring your sneakers. Yes. Bring your step counter. You want to do your 10,000 steps a day. All of central London is so walkable.
What else should we see when we're here?
I would definitely go and see a show in the West End or another theatre, because live performance and live music and live theatre is so much of what makes our city. I think an afternoon tea is also a bit of a must.
We are out here at Abbey Road waiting for that Packers tour bus to come a little bit later. We hope to bring that to you live. We'll certainly get images for you. And they're going to be stopping here to recreate that famous picture on the cover of the Abbey Road album by the Beatles. They recorded it just back there in the studio, and it is one of the most copied photos, and here you can see why. So far, no one's been hit, no one's been injured, cars are stopping. They're pretty patient out here, waiting for everybody to get that iconic shot. Now watch this. Some people do, like there's 4 of them. We've even seen somebody take off their shoes for a barefoot shot because Paul McCartney is barefoot in that picture, but it's, you guys, it's hilarious. It is just hilarious. So we'll show you more of this coming up throughout the morning. But a couple of days ago, I got a chance to do another kind of London tradition, and that is an afternoon tea. We have some video for you. For our afternoon tea, we headed to the department store, Fortnum and Mason. It is in the Piccadilly Circus area of London, and we went to the 4th floor to the Diamond Jubilee tea room. The piano was playing. They have a menu of tea that includes more than 50 varieties, and it's a really special place. They say it's not only a restaurant with afternoon tea, it's a tourist destination, and that is because of a royal connection.
Queen actually inaugurated this restaurant in 2012. She came to table number 12 in the south side of the restaurant, not this part, another part of the restaurant, and she sit there. So that is our the way we start.
Claim to fame right there.
Yeah, certainly,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a big deal because not only was the Queen there to inaugurate it, she brought along a couple of princesses. The Duchesses of Cornwall and Cambridge were there. You know, Kate and Meghan were there with the Queen to inaugurate that Jubilee Tea Room. So kind of a fancy place to be. But I mentioned the teas. There's also the food. 3 tiers of food, and one of the most special parts, I thought, was the clotted cream.
Clotted cream, it's almost like butter, but it's sugary and it's lighter. It's just a kind of, it's a base, I think, for sugary preserves to be put on top.
Ooh.
Like a buttercream? Like, give it to me right now.
Yes, but better.
Oh
I don't know
my.
how to explain it, but he said the proper way to do it is to start with the cream and then you put the preserves on top. But people, there's a debate about how best to do it. I took some images of the little patisseries, and I will post those with my postcards later today. But those little finger sandwiches were so lovely too. So it was quite an experience. I felt very royal being in that room doing afternoon tea. We are at Goddard's at Greenwich. Did I say that right, Jeff?
You did say that.
And this is Jeff Goddard. He is 4th generation, the great grandson of the founder. Tell us about Goddard.
Well, it's got a long history, like you said. It's been in my family 4 generations. Established 1890. The founder, Alfred Jacob Goddard, they set up the pie and mash shop down the road here in Deptford. That's the original shop. The shop we're currently in at the moment, we've only been in 10 years, but we were in a shop just round the corner from here for about 70 or 80 years. So we've been in the town centre a long time.
And you are serving a traditional pie and mash and liquor.
Yeah.
What is that?
Right, well, pies, most people know what pies are about. The traditional pie is a minced beef pie.
Behind you, we can see them behind
Yeah, we do lots of other pies, but we've developed that over the years. But our traditional pie is this one, the traditional minced beef pie. And it's served with just good old-fashioned mashed potato, which is nothing other than just mashed up potato, nothing added to it. And the liquor, that's a traditional sauce, this one here. And what it is, it used to get its name because the eels that we do as well, when they used to cook the eels, the cooking stock, they made a sauce from, a parsley sauce that they had with the eels, and that was referred to as the liquor of the eels.
Okay, but there's no liquor in there, and there's actually no eel.
There's no eel stock in it now. We've changed it in the last few years. It's just vegetable-based.
Parsley sauce
It's
now.
parsley sauce, basically. So you have the pie, the mash, and the sauce over the top, and that is the most traditional thing you can have.
Okay, people who are visiting from Green Bay,
Yeah.
Wisconsin, and anywhere, why should they make a trip to Greenwich to have your pie and mash?
Well, first up, it is probably the most authentic thing you can have in London. I mean, nationally, obviously, people think of fish and chips, and different areas of the country have stuff that is like relevant for them. I'm sure in Green Bay you have your own stuff that's, you know, very traditional, and here in this part of London, pie and mash is the most traditional. And if you can stomach it, the eels are very traditional as well. We do a hot eels and we do a jellied eels.
Will you show us those later?
I will definitely show you this, as long as you try some.
Yeah, okay. Jeff, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to work. They're expecting a big lunch crowd, locals and tourists coming in here to the shop. We'll let him serve us up some of that traditional pie and mash.
You can do it.
And maybe the jellied eels.
You went in the
If I
London
have
Eye.
to.
You can
If I have
do it.
to.
You can do
They
it.
form their own jelly as they sit in the bowl. It's to do with the gelatine in the bone.
It's okay.
You like them?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Now, I didn't quite finish the jellied eel.
Oh.
But I wanted to save room for dessert here. Just a little bit.
As you can see,
Calorie free.
it's quite a good portion. That'll keep you busy for a while, all right? So that is one of the most traditional sort of English desserts you can have, rhubarb and custard. I mean, they even make sweets, rhubarb and custard, that you know, can say, boiled sweets. So yeah, that's very traditional. In the old days, when the bread started to go stale, they cut it up into pieces, they layered it, and it's got currants, it's got cinnamon on it and sugar, and then they made an egg custard, and they pour it on, and then you cook it so it sets.
They were so good about not letting anything go to waste.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, even when they weren't making things like this with the stale bread, they'd use it for breadcrumbs to make things with, or there's another cake that they make called bread pudding, which is from stale bread. So yeah, it's very, very, very traditional.
I think I'm a fan of
years.
stale bread. I think I am. Okay, so I'm going to try a little bit of the custard here. I want to give that a try.
Yeah.
But will you tell us about, like, the recipes here? Are they original? I mean, do you keep some of the traditional ways and then update it
Right.
depending on people's tastes?
I mean, the pies, the recipes for the
Oh my goodness.
the pies. Wait, do you want me to dig in for the? Let's just dig in and have that.
He's helping
There
you
you
out.
go.
You've got to try the roux.
Okay.
Have a bit of that with the custard.
I'm glad he's helping me out with this. Oh, you're going to feed me?
Oh my.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit.
All
about
in
the
one
pies.
bite.
It's hot. It's so hot. Oh. Okay, tell us about the pie.
Most of the recipes for the pastry and stuff have been handed down through generations. Some of the pies, we've changed the recipes of the pies over the course of time because things have developed. You know, you've got people that are
Right.
vegans, vegetarians, allergies, etc., etc. We even do a gluten-free pie. But basically, we have tried to stay to our ancestors' original sort of recipes. But some of the stuff, like the liquor, is kind of a bit of a guarded secret, so we don't tell anybody exactly how we do the liquor.
You're in the heart of London here, and what's amazing is you've got people from all over the world mixing with Londoners, people who live around the corner, and that's why we're so excited that Packers are in town.
Okay, so you bring that up, and one of the things we have seen are people coming by in their NFL gear, whatever team is their team. Yesterday we saw a lot of Vikings. You saw that in your neighborhood even, and Saints fans, and the Packers fans are already starting to trickle in. How does London feel about the NFL being here?
London is so excited about the NFL. So we've been hosting NFL here for 16 years, actually, but it's the first time the Packers have come to London. So we're really excited about that. But people have really got behind the game. There's a lot of interest in NFL, but also in other US sports. So, for example, we've got the baseball coming in next year, and people are really excited about that too.
It is beyond a huge rally. There's no words to explain how packed it is inside Belushi's for this pep rally. Packers everywhere. And these people are still waiting to get in. You guys are, look at their
The Packers, it's a small city, I think, Green Bay, and people owns Green Bay Packers. Yeah.
Are you going to the game?
Yes,
Awesome. What do you think about the pep rally?
it's awesome. Really awesome. In Switzerland, nothing is compared to that. Nothing.
I'd like to introduce you to King Rogers the First. This is Trent from Minnesota, but you would never guess by his outfit that he lives in that state that we shall from now on be unnamed. Trent, tell us why you brought King Rogers the First today.
Well, I brought King Rogers the First back home to London where he belongs because we are football team and fans of not only the USA, but of the world.
That's right.
We are fans of the world and players of the world, and so Rogers had to come to London to bring us home the victory.
Now, some of the players were in there, the alumni players and Mark Murphy, and they gave you a shout out.
Yes, they did. So when I walked in, it is extremely crowded in there, and the only one that was able to see the stage was Rogers because I held him up, and they had said, "Oh, look, Rogers has entered the building."
Yeah. Oh, you guys, it's so much fun being here. It is. It's like being at a home game. It is a home game in London for the Green Bay Packers. We're having so much fun.